What's happening, guys? What's going on YouTube? You guys have tuned into Rules for Rebels, and today's going to be a very important video to, especially to any of you guys who are YouTube content creators, but really I think anybody who's involved in the digital marketing space. If you own a business, an e-commerce shop, and you're an advertiser, this affects almost everybody, and what we're talking about is complying with COPPA. I forget exactly what COPPA stands for, something children, blah, 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 parents, advertising. But I made a video, you guys have probably heard about this, I made a video a while back about this, and I believe the video, if you guys want to check it out, was titled, "It's Hard Out Here for a Content Creator," and the thumbnail was a picture of, what was his name, Skinny Pimp or whatever, from that movie Hustle and Flow, and I think the screenshot says, "It's hard out here for a pimp," scratched out pimp, and put content creator. So that's the video. If I remember to do so, I will put a card above and drop a link down below. In full disclosure, I will probably forget to do that. So feel free to search the video and check it out for yourself, but I'll try to remember to do that. But we're going to be talking about complying with COPPA. That was a couple months ago that YouTube got fined. All of this stuff was announced. We're going to be taking a look at a YouTube video from the YouTube Creators channel. We're also going to take a look at a Reddit post where people are kind of discussing this. And the title of the Reddit post is FTC will charge you $42,000 per video if it's not marked kid-friendly content on YouTube. So for anybody who's been asleep and doesn't know what's going on, YouTube got fined, I think it was maybe 100 million. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. 100 million, 200 million, which ultimately to them is kind of a drop in the bucket, but they got fined for basically collecting data and sending targeted ads to kids based on that data. Now, here's what a lot of people are kind of misunderstanding, and I noticed this from the Reddit post, and I was kind of confused about this myself, especially when I made the first video. So YouTube nor the FTC is saying we can't advertise to kids, and I think that's kind of why this policy, this law, is so fucking stupid. And before we get into this, let me just say shit, fuck, motherfucker, bitch, because we want to make sure that we swear so that everybody knows this video is not intended for kids, and we're going to get into kind of how this gets really murky with what content is actually considered children's content. I say that joking, obviously. Phillip Defranco did a good video on this the other day. If I remember to, I'll find that video, but I probably won't. So feel free to check out his channel. I don't watch him regularly, but I happened to stumble upon one of these videos where he actually went into this, and he kind of delivered all the info pretty crisply and concisely. So here's kind of why this is, I guess, so to kind of wrap up, basically, YouTube is no longer going to allow advertisers to target videos to users on content that's intended for kids, or on content that could be construed as being targeted for kids, or just content that may not be targeted for kids, but that kids might be interested in. And that's where it gets really murky. Like, kids are interested in sports. Does that mean sports-related content is kids' content? I'm sure some kids are interested in molecular biology. Does that mean molecular biology videos are kids' content? That's where this kind of gets really, really murky. And we're going to get into this, but basically, if you flag your own video as children's content, or if your video gets flagged by the YouTube algorithm, which that could also be problematic, your video will not be allowed to have comments. People will not be able to save your video to a playlist or to watch later. What else? There's a couple other things. Your video can't have comments. People can't save it for later. And people can't sign up for notifications for future videos to be released. So we all know how but when you subscribe to a channel, that's typically not enough to make sure you see the videos. You also got to ring that bell. That's why Graham, Stefan, and everybody else is always telling you, ring that bell, ring that bell, ring that bell. Well, on kids' content, there will no longer be a bell. It's no surprise why people who create kids' content, or even content that could be construed as kids' content, are really upset about this, and just kind of how this law goes, and just kind of some thoughts real quick. The government oftentimes solves quote-unquote problems, which may or may not even be problems, or which are insignificant problems, and they wind up doing a bunch of things, or creating a bunch of laws that wind up creating unintended consequences, meaning they solve this one insignificant problem but create 10 bigger problems in the process. And that's kind of what this COPPA Act is. If we as a society decide we don't want to advertise to kids, I think we should just say no advertising to kids, period. But here it's not about advertising to kids, it's about targeting ads to kids and using users' data to target kids. And basically this goes way beyond what it was intended to do, because the FTC says, well, just because a YouTube account is an adult's account, it might be somebody letting their children watch videos. And really, like, if you don't want your kids exposed to ads, you probably shouldn't have your kids on social media. A kid is defined as anybody 13 years of age or younger. And so, yeah, I guess without further ado, let's kind of get into this. We'll watch the video and kind of comment on it. We'll also run over to the Reddit discussion on this and talk about it a little bit as well. So let's hop right into it.
If you create content for YouTube, this video is very important to watch as it describes changes to the upload process, all of your existing videos, and potentially your monetization.
And you'll see that this video actually goes into, you can actually set your entire channel to be either kids content or not kids content. So if you got, I got 1,000 videos on my channel plus other channels. If you don't want to go through 1,000 videos one by one, you can just blanket flag your entire account as kids or not kids if you don't make videos for kids. There's one channel that I'm going to have to go through. It's a channel with videos on how to fix hoverboards and hoverboard reviews and all types of stuff like that. I'm pretty sure most of the content on that channel will be flagged as kids content. But let's go a little bit further.
Hi, I'm Lauren, and I'm the head of family partnerships here at YouTube. I'm going to go through important new requirements for all videos that you should take action on as soon as possible. I'll provide some background on what's happening, walk you through a new audience setting in YouTube Studio and how to use it, and then answer some questions you might have about this update. Back in September, we shared the steps we're taking to address a recent settlement with the U.S. Federal Trade Commission that will help creators comply with the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act, known as COPPA, and
okay, so that's what COPPA stands for, Children's Online Privacy Protection Act.
Other applicable laws. In order to help you comply with the law, we're now required to ask you to mark all of your videos as made for kids or not.
That's what we're
You
just
know
discussing.
your videos and audience.
It's actually going to be a segment within, when you're uploading your YouTube video and you select monetization and pick the category, news and commentary, entertainment, this is going to be another thing that you're going to have to check, or again, you could do your entire channel in one blanket move.
It's best. So we've launched a new audience setting that lets you tell us
right
if your videos are made for kids or not. In addition to this setting, we'll use machine learning systems to help us find content that is clearly made for kids.
And here's where the problems come in, right? Like, everything's very vague. What's kids content? What are kids interested in? If you're making like sing-along song videos, well, okay, that's pretty clearly targeted at kids, but what about adults who make Minecraft videos? What about, what's that, Mork and whatever pickle cartoon that a lot of people watch? That's much more adult-oriented, but kids might be interested in that. Another good example, recently I made a video. It was an update on the Google BERT, YouTube algorithm change, and on the thumbnail I had a picture of Bert from Bert and Ernie. Now, Google's machine learning could very easily see a picture of a children's cartoon character and flag that video as children's content, even though I doubt very many children are interested in technical SEO and Google's algorithms, and I just happen to use a cartoon character because it's called Google Bert and Bert and Ernie, right?
But don't rely on our systems to set content for you. Like all automated systems, it's not perfect. If you don't set your audience, or if we detect error or abuse, we may set your audience for you. But in most cases, we'll rely on your audience setting to determine whether a video is made for kids.
Good to know that they're going to
There
rely
are two
for the
ways
most
to
part
set
on
your
ours, but
audience,
who knows?
at the channel level or at the video level. If you know that your whole library of videos is made for kids or not made for kids, you can set your audience at the channel level. To do so, go to Settings in YouTube Studio, then the Channel tab, then Advanced Settings, and from there, go to the Audience section and choose an option that best describes your channel. Doing this at the channel level will apply to all of your older videos too. So we encourage you to...
And that's kind of good. If you got a catalog of a couple hundred or even a couple thousand videos, you're not going to have to go through all of your content one by one, going in video, kids, out of the video, back into another video, kids. You can do this for your entire channel, including your past video catalog. So at least that's kind of good.
Set your audience at the channel level as a first step. From there, if some of your videos don't align with your channel level setting, you can mark your audience at the video level. To mark your older videos as made for kids to edit, and go on the details tab on the video upload. Note that if you've already set your audience at the channel level, this will be automatically selected for you.
And then if you do set your channel to either kids or non-kids, every video going forward, unless you change it, will be set to that setting as well. So that's kind of handy.
But make sure to choose the option that makes the most sense for that specific video. Again, it's incredibly important that you take these steps to set your audience accurately. Now we realize this is a big change, so let's dive into some questions you may have. What's considered made for kids content? Per the FTC's guidance under COPPA, when deciding whether or not your channel or video is made for kids, you should think about factors like the subject matter of your video, whether children are your intended audience for the video, whether the video includes child actors or models, whether the video includes characters, celebrities, or toys that appeal to children, including animated characters or cartoon figures.
And again, this is where it gets murky. The subject matter of the video is sports geared towards kids. I know as a kid, 10 years old, I was super into baseball and football. Does that mean that sports content is geared for kids? We don't really know. If children are the intended audience, well, of course, you have your intention of who you made the video for, but does your content appeal to kids? I know there's a lot of adults who are making like Lego and Minecraft videos for other adults, but Legos and Minecraft appeal to kids, so that will likely get flagged as children's content. Obviously, child actors and models or singers, whatever, I think is pretty clear that's kids. Or if it includes characters, celebrities, or toys that appeal to children. Fairly straightforward, but again, you have a lot of adult cartoons, and you have a lot of people who make animated videos and cartoons for adults, but I think anything cartoon related is probably going to be flagged as being for kids.
Whether the language of the video is intended for children to understand. Whether the video includes activities that appeal to children, such as play acting, simple songs or games, or early education. Whether the video includes songs, stories, or poems that appeal to children, and any other information you may have to help determine your video's audience. Ultimately, we can't provide legal advice, so we're unable to confirm whether or not your content is made for kids.
And this is very similar to like copyright claims, right? Like copyright claims can only be decided by a court, so like YouTube, we don't really know. Like some people say you can use 10 seconds of a video, other people get flagged for using 2 seconds of a video. So YouTube's not really going to provide you any guidance here. You kind of have to go off of what you think, and it's probably better to play it safe.
That decision is up to you, taking into consideration these factors. But we want to help you follow the law as much as we can. Check out our help center and talk to a lawyer if you're still unsure whether or not your content should be marked as made for kids. How old is a kid? The age of a kid in the US is defined as anyone under 13. But the age of a child may be higher in other countries. So you'll need to consider the factors we just went through that apply to COPPA, in addition to any applicable local laws regarding children. Note that regardless of where you're based, COPPA generally applies.
So even if you're outside of the US, you will have to cater your videos to be within these laws and things like that. And then one other thing that I thought was kind of interesting about this, I had a brain fart. Let's just keep on.
Be sure to consult a lawyer if you have questions.
Oh, here's what I was thinking. So, ultimately, this does not ban advertising to kids. Advertisements can still play on children's videos. It's just that the advertisements can't be targeted towards kids. So, instead of a kid seeing advertisements for kids' movies, kids' toys, other things that kids are interested in, there's going to be no targeting. So I would imagine they're probably not going to play like Viagra commercials on kids' YouTube videos, but the ads aren't going to be targeted to kids. So it's going to be like random videos, random advertisements that kids aren't interested in seeing. And I wouldn't be surprised if there's some like big melee where somehow YouTube is showing like alcohol ads, or I don't think YouTube allows alcohol ads, but you get the point. They're showing crypto video, crypto ads or Viagra ads or something like that to kids. We'll see how that pans out.
If you set your content as made for kids, what does this mean for your channel? We will start limiting the data we collect on made for
and here's where it gets really interesting. So, it's one thing, okay, we're going to limit the data we collect, but why can't kids' videos have comments? Why can't kids hit the notification bell to see more videos that they're interested in? Why can't they save videos to watch later? That seems to me to have nothing to do with advertising, but who knows?
For kids' content to comply with the law. Because of this, videos that you mark as made for kids will be treated differently on YouTube. Some features like comments will no longer be available. Most importantly, those videos won't show personalized ads, so some creators may see a decrease in revenue. What other features will no longer be available if I set my content as made for kids? Starting in January, if you mark a specific video as made for kids, features like comments, personalized advertising, info cards, end screens, and more won't be available.
Oh, those are the ones I forgot. So this is kind of interesting too. If you make content for kids, or if your content that isn't made for kids is deemed to be friendly towards kids, you won't have comments, personalized ads, that's kind of a no-brainer. You won't be able to have info cards or drop-related videos, and you won't be able to have end screens, which again doesn't really seem to have a whole lot to do with advertising, but
available on individual videos. If your entire channel is set as made for kids, your videos won't have any of those features. Your channel also won't have stories, the community tab, the notification bell, and your viewers won't be able to save to watch later.
Okay, so there's a few, we keep coming out with more and more things. So if you flag your whole channel, or if YouTube flags your whole channel, you won't have access to stories, which I don't know how many people actually use those, but it's kind of a cool feature. You won't have the community tab, which again is kind of a neat feature. No notification bell, and people won't be able to save your videos to watch later. Obviously, this is already gonna hurt your advertising revenue, but this is also gonna hurt your views and watch time and everything else. So this is really hurting creators of either kids content and or non-kids content, which mistakenly gets deemed as kids content.
Save to playlist. Keep in mind that these restrictions are to follow the law. For a full list of restricted features, visit our help center. What happens if YouTube's systems say my video is made for kids, but
so I'll link to this video if you guys want to watch it. I feel like that's most of the interesting stuff out of there. Let's see, what is this? I think this is from, what is this from? See if we click this link where it takes us. Okay, so it looks like that's just a screenshot. I'm not sure if that's from an article or YouTube themselves. So let's see. How drastically will creator income be impacted by our assessment? Very drastically. Okay, so this is, we asked creators to go into Creator Studio and disable personalized ads called interest-based ads under the Advanced tab for a few days. Based on our initial testing, a video not running personalized ads sees a loss in revenue of somewhere between 60 and 90%. So potentially 90% of a YouTube creator's ad revenue is going to be taken away. So if a video on a given channel could generate $100 in revenue for a creator right now with personalized ads running, categorizing the video as directed to children and therefore removing personalized ads would mean the video's revenue would drop somewhere between $10 and $40. Facing a loss that large might be enough to make some creators consider not checking the directed to children box, even if they make videos for kids, but the consequences for that are stiff. If the FTC decides an uploaded video is kid-directed but sees it not marked as kid-directed, the creator could face a fine of over $42,000 per video. That financial liability is enough to bankrupt most creators. YouTube also plans to use machine learning, for better or worse, to implement a system that will find kid-detected videos and identify them as such. Why the FTC is bringing creators into this, the enforcement action isn't happening to protect kids from all ads. Nickelodeon and a Disney Channel run content-based ads all day long while abiding by the Children's Television Act. It's happening to protect kids from a perceived threat from personalized ads and the data collection inherent in the distribution of those ads. So here's where a lot of people are getting confused. A lot of people think either you won't be able to run ads on kids' content, period. That's not the case. A lot of people also think that you can run ads on kids' content, but just not ads that are directed towards kids. Well, why the fuck would I want to why the fuck would I want to run commercials intended for adults on kids' videos, right? It makes no sense. So that's not the case either. You can run toy ads and Lego ads and Minecraft ads and other children's ads on kids' channels. You just can't do personalized ads directed to what that kid has looked for. A lot of people are saying that this is like lobbied for or pushed for by big corporations and mass media. Obviously, like, they're losing. More people are watching YouTube than are watching Nickelodeon or subscribing to cable. And so I think the big media and big companies are scared of things like this, and they're trying to kind of cramp down on the smaller creators. But really, to me, like, either we don't want to advertise to kids and we should block all advertising to kids, period, or we allow advertising to kids and use targeted ads, because who the fuck wants to see ads that aren't targeted towards them? It's like a better viewing experience. Nobody likes ads, but at least if I'm going to see ads, play ads that are of interest to me. Let's take a look and see what some YouTube creators and things like that think about this. This is from the YouTube subreddit, which is comprised mostly of YouTube creators. Content creators make zero decisions as to how YouTube administers its services, including whether such ads are targeted or not. So how are those content creators on the hook for such fines? Kind of a good point. YouTube creators have very little control over the YouTube platform, so why are they being drug in to kind of enforce this? Kind of agree with that, but again, at the end of the day, it is what it is. Let's see. So the FTC won't let me be. I'm still not sure if this is a good way to determine if your content is kid-friendly or not, but download the YouTube Kids app and search your channel's name. If your content is on that app, see if your content is on that app. If it's not, then it may be possible your content could be safe, because only content that's geared towards kids could show up on that app, and I'm seeing a lot of nursery rhyme videos on there that obviously fit the bill. So for anybody who doesn't know, YouTube has a YouTube Kids version that's specifically intended for kids. From what I understand, less than 1% of all YouTube accounts actually use YouTube Kids, even though kids make up a bulk of the people watching YouTube. So most parents are not having their kids watch YouTube Kids. They're just letting their kids watch regular YouTube, which, if you have a problem with your kids being advertised to, get them on YouTube Kids. I don't know why they're watching YouTube videos in the first place. Let's see. My content is dark humor cartoon that sort of parodies kids' TV shows. It has death, depression, cannibalism, murder, alcohol, etc. But kind of part of the joke is that it looks kind of like a kid show at first glance, which means this is really confusing for me. It literally is supposed to look like it's for kids, but it isn't. Is YouTube going to accuse me of marking it wrong? I wonder if the bot will pick up Happy Tree Friends as kid-friendly. Now that would be awkward. So this kid, this guy makes cartoon content geared towards adults on adult subjects, but just the fact that there's cartoon characters are likely, and also it's kind of the a title like Happy Tree Friends, likely going to be construed as kids content. Let's see. I think everyone's overreacting. You only need to set content as made for kids if you're targeting kids, and only kids. If you're targeting a general audience like 99% of YouTubers, just set your content as not for kids. Don't set an age restriction. So this guy, in my opinion, is completely wrong. Just because you don't think your content is targeted towards kids, regardless of your intention in making the content, if it's interesting to kids or could be construed as being interesting to kids, it's going to be marked as for kids, or you're going to get in trouble with the FTC. I've heard a lot of people saying that they want to mark their videos like mature content, because you can do that on the back end of YouTube videos, and say, okay, well, then I'm safe. It's clearly mature. The problem is people who have YouTube accounts from when they were kids, who have it upgraded like the settings, won't be able to watch mature videos. Also, people who aren't logged into a YouTube account won't be able to watch that video. So it's going to hurt viewership. Your videos also won't get advertising, and YouTube's probably less likely to show your videos to people. And let's see what people say. Okay, so this guy agrees with me. This is straight up incorrect. You are required to mark the video as made for kids if it has content that would attract kids, regardless of if kids are your main audience. YouTube's definition of made for kids. And again, I'll link to this Reddit post so you guys can kind of check this out and read through. We'll read a couple of more of these, and then we'll cut you loose and go, because I got a bunch of Black Friday stuff I got to get started on, but continue on. Wait, what? That's totally backwards from what I'd expect. Making violent, sexual, mature, or borderline content as kids-friendly is what we should be discouraging, not the opposite. If anything, prior incidents have proven that people should be very careful what they consider to be kid-friendly. So now I expect machine learning will jump to some conclusion about what is kid-friendly based on a style of animation. I expect problems. Machine learning is not ready to substitute for human intelligence. Let's see, one more. After scrolling through some of the comments, the solution for the time being is pretty simple. talk to your lawyer, the one you consult about your content. And if you don't have one but make money from your videos, you should probably get a letter. I mean, let's be real. The vast majority of people are making beer money on YouTube. Not very many people are going to be consulting lawyers or have lawyers. For the big content creators, fine. But I mean, for the big content creators, they can just shut off ads, period. They're not really reliant on ads. They can just go to sponsored videos and do sponsored product videos. Like it's really the small creators who are being affected by this, and it's the small creators who aren't going to be able to pay for lawyers with the $200 a month that YouTube ad gives them. So again, I'll link to the video from the YouTube creators channel along with this Reddit post. And I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on this. Are any of you guys creators who make kids content? Are any of you guys creators who make not kids content, but content that could be construed for kids content? How do you feel about this? What are your plans? Go ahead and drop us a comment down below. I'm going to be pretty slammed with Black Friday stuff for the next couple weeks here. I'll try to get on here and make some videos. I actually have kind of a cool Shopify product pages guide that I'm going to be putting out here in the very near future. I got my good buddy Jared Harland, a renowned copywriter, to kind of write a foreword to it. So that should be pretty cool. I was going to say I was going to set up an email list and say if anybody wants that, sign up for the email list, but I was fucking lazy and didn't create it. So we'll get around to that later. But I just wanted to get a video out. I haven't been on here in a little while, and don't know that I'm going to have a chance to hop on here in the near future. Got a bunch of Black Friday stuff going on. We only got, 9 or 10 days? Maybe it's more than that. But the clock is ticking. I got about 5 stores that I got to set ads for, get emails set up, text, SMS, everything else. So going to be pretty busy for the next couple weeks. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If so, give it a thumbs up. If you are not subscribed, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button down below, and we'll catch you in the next video. Later, guys.